Welcome back to another restoration video, everyone. Today I'll be working on the first pair of Jordan 9s on the channel, specifically in the photo blue colorway. Luckily, these shoes do not have any major problems. The only big problems with the shoe is that the midsole is starting to crumble and that there's large separations between the midsole and outsole. A lot of the paint in the areas where the midsole is cracking is also started to peel up. The only issue with the upper of the shoes is that the Nubuck has started to fall off. Majority of the Nubuck that has fallen off is on the toe caps of the shoes, but there is also some around the ankle collar of both shoes. The only other major issues with the outsoles of the shoes is that they have been heavily worn. This has caused a lot of heel drag, which has started to create some holes in the outsole of the shoe. Along with the holes in the heel of the outsole, there's also some details that are on the forefoot of the outsole that have been rubbed off. To start off, I'm going to go ahead and get both of the soles off both shoes. With the use of some acetone, I went ahead and started pulling off the original outsole. Since I don't want to damage the Nubuck upper on the shoes any further than it's already been damaged, I'm going to go ahead and use my X-Acto knife to skive off the midsole. Doing this, I should be able to minimize any damage to the upper of the shoe. Along with minimizing the damage, this also will speed up the process of me taking the original midsole off and also will create less of a mess. For some areas on the original midsole, I went ahead and used some acetone just because it was only held on with a little bit of glue left. After I took a lot of the large bits of midsole off of the shoe, I went ahead and used my X-Acto knife to skive some of the smaller areas that could use some work, and later on I'll end up using a Dremel tool to get off the rest of it. If you made it to this part of the video and are enjoying it, it'd be greatly appreciated if you went ahead and liked and subscribed. Also, if you're interested in seeing more detailed before and after photos of each restoration, you can go ahead and follow the MHS Instagram and TikTok accounts. As I stated earlier, I'm going to go ahead and use my rotary tool with a sanding bit to get any excess midsole bits off of the shoe. I'm also going to go ahead and try and get the majority of the original glue off the upper of the shoe. Now with the upper of the shoes free from any remnants of the midsole, I'm going to go ahead and give them a nice clean.
This is a Homage beat.
Now that the uppers dried from me cleaning them, I'm going to go ahead and start fixing the large gaps of Nubuck. Here I'm using a sealer that acts like an adhesive for the new Nubuck. For this, I just have some fine Nubuck or suede powder that you can find on eBay and other places, and all I'm doing is tapping it lightly and then using my knife to lightly press it into the upper of the shoes. For the toe caps on both shoes, I ended up having to do about 3 to 4 sessions on them, and for the ankle collars, I only did 2. Now, with the help of some acetone and heat, I'm going to go ahead and remove the midsole from the donor pair of shoes. Luckily, I was able to find a pair of shoes that has a nearly, or at least looks identical to the original outsoles. Now before I start repainting the new midsoles and start gluing them to the original uppers, I'm going to go ahead and give the upper of the shoes a few coats of fresh paint, just because it was looking a little faded. Before I started painting, I used some 400 grit sandpaper and no acetone or cotton balls, as I didn't want any of the paint that was coming up from the acetone to stain the stitching on the upper of the shoe. While I was painting the upper of the shoes, I went ahead and threw the new midsole and outsoles into the light box, just because there was a tiny bit of oxidization on the outsoles. And after I took the soles out of the light box, I went ahead and sanded down the inside of the shoe to get the original glue and any bits of upper that were remaining on the new soles. Unlike with other restorations, I went ahead and decided to try and go ahead and sand the outsole of the shoe. The reason I did this was to primarily remove any remaining oxidization on the outsoles, but I also did this to restore some of the grip on the tread of the outsoles, because the sole sauce ended up removing some of the grip and made the outsoles slippery. Finally, before I go ahead and throw the midsoles onto the uppers of the shoe, I'm going to go ahead and put a few coats of black down and finish them with a couple coats of matte finish.
Homage got the vibe.